Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 59th episode of Concerned Dabs podcast. I am your host, Katie M. Kane. Our scheduled guest for this evening, Smurf Luchiano, had a family emergency right before we were about to go live, ladies and gentlemen. So uh, hopefully he can scramble back and we can catch him for the remainder of the episode, and if not, hopefully he can reschedule with us for June 14th. Um, so in the meantime, and between time, I'm just gonna tell a story about one of the times I ran into Smurf Luciano when I was in Portland, Oregon. I talked to him a little bit before the show, and he told me it was okay to say this story on the air. So I was DJing at this club called Heat, which is like the JV feeder club for Club 205. And it was like a Thursday. You know what I mean? I'm not ashamed. I'm an okay DJ. I'm not great. You know what I mean? I was trying to get to 205, but they put me at Heat, so whatever. But it was right there on like 122nd and Holgate. And right up the street from there was a funeral home. And so when I was going to work that day, I could tell there was a bunch of cars at the funeral home and a bunch of nice cars too, rims and tints, SUVs. So I was like, damn, right on, man. And then when I get to work, it's just a slow Thursday, and then right about like 4:30 or 5, a whole bunch of people start flooding in. It's aunties and grandmas, you know what I mean? Everybody's dressed in black, looking kind of bummed out. Like I'm like, oh, this is the folks from the funeral. And everybody's it's black folks, right? So I'm like, cool, I'm gonna play some rap. And at that club, my boss would be like, you can't play rap. And so 15 minutes after the folks from the funeral show up, my boss Dale walks in. I'm like, shit. So I gotta like change up my little auto playlist and put some R&B in there. But he went to the office immediately, and I knew when he went to the office he's gonna be back there for an hour. And so there was a cool spot right behind the DJ booth. It was a smoking area, and so I went out there to go smoke my blunt. You know what I mean? It's like everything's good. I'm set up. Take a break, and Smurf Luciano was out there with a bunch of his little homies, and I just jumped in the circle with my blunt and lighted up. We started passing it around, and one of his little homies was like, "Hey man, where'd you get this weed?" And I was like, "Man, my cousin out in Hermiston grew this, and it was like some Obama Kush. It was fire." I'm like, "He does pretty good outside, man. He's got game." And the guy who asked me that question is like, he goes, "Man, I tried growing a couple times, and he's like, man, I fucked up, man. I crapped out." He's like, "I gave up on that shit." You know what I mean? He's like, "It wasn't for me. I couldn't." And everybody's like, "Oh man," but Smurf Luciano was in the circle too, and he was just like, "Man," he's like, Something's always gonna go wrong, man. Like shit's always gonna fuck up." He's like, "You got to keep going." He's like, "I've had a couple bad rounds, man, where I got bugs or mold or whatever, but." He's like, "Shit, I figured it out, man." He's like, "You gotta keep trying." And it was so cool to hear that kind of advice from one of the big homies, because I didn't even know him. I'm just strip club DJ out there smoking a blunt with these folks, you know what I mean? But it was super cool to just listen in on that conversation and have a story to tell about it afterwards, man. I thought it was super dope. And there was this other time when I was working at Club Sin Rock and I was playing some Godsmack, and I went outside to go smoke, and Smurf was out. He's like, "Man, what's this Godsmack shit?" You know what I mean? He's like, "Can't play no Sam Cooke." And I was like, "All right, man. All right." So, I passed the blind, went in, put on some Sam Cooke, man. But super, super cool cat. If he can make it back, I'll do some more intro on him. He's the owner, CEO of Two Real Records. There's a documentary on Vimeo called the Killingsworth documentary. And that documentary is about Little Smurf. Big Smurf is Smurf Luciano. So it's about his little homie, and about Portland, Oregon, and it's a really good documentary. If anybody out there is listening right now, I hope you can go and check that out. It's really good, man. I was impressed with it. There's 5 different parts. I think they're all about, like, 20 minutes long, so, and when you're searching it, the parts aren't the same as there's 5 different ones, so look at the digits, because the intro is part 1 of 5, so make sure you look I could try and watch it in sequence is all I'm saying, 'cause it's a better story that way. And also, the new album that they put out, that Smurf put out on Two Real Records, is called Rat Poison 2. It's by Ryder J. Clyde and Fidel Castro. I just listened to a few of the songs on my pre-funk earlier, and shit is pretty dope. It's real Bay Area sounding. There's also a song by Six on there. Shout out to Six. We had him on the show a few weeks back. And then there's a super dope weed song on here. I wanted to mention that. It's called Turn Up by Y Sick. And yeah, if anybody out there wants to go and check out some of Smurf's music, this Rat Poison 2 album, it's on Spotify, iTunes, everywhere else you can go and search it. You could even just search that phrase. That's how I found it. Rat Poison and then the number 2. So you can go and check it out. 11 songs, 44 minutes. Super dope. I gotta listen to the rest of it. But so far so good, man. I am impressed. Um, what else can I do for intro? Yeah, man. 50 Treats like that Portland rap pioneer. Like I also watched the video for Gangsters on the Move, and it's dope because it's almost like it's super West Coast because it has a girl on the chorus, man. And on my So They Say album, I did that almost every other song. I had a girl on the chorus, and it just I put my album out way after that, so it's like an indirect influence of sorts that's just real West Coast sounding to me. And the video was pretty cool too, because they're on jet skis and boats out there in the Willamette. I thought that was super sick. Um, just reminds me of home, man. Yeah, so we are now a few minutes in. Smurf Luchiano, if you are listening and you're on your way back to the crib, man, let us know. If you want to reschedule, hit us up, man. Shoot me a text or something. We're gonna switch to a couple of cannabis news stories from my guy Mitchell. Shout out to Mitchell in production. He's got a story. This is from Marijuana Moment, published May 28, 2020. USDA approves hemp plans for U.S. Virgin Islands and 4 Indian tribes: the Cheyenne River Sioux tribe, the Chippewa Cree tribe, Lac Court Oray Band of Lake Superior Chippewa Indians, and Red Lake Band of Chippewa Indians. The U.S. Virgin Islands is the first territory to have its proposal accepted. The department declined to revise the THC limit, however, arguing that it's a statutory matter that can't be dealt with administratively. Word. So, like, those are all Chippewa Indians then, Mitchell? More or less? Just a bunch of different bands? That's tight. So, you gotta, cause dude, I don't as a tribe or as a different sovereign nation, you have to submit it to do it within the boundaries of the US or something? Cause in Oregon, homies got hemp licenses like it ain't shit, cause it was way easier than a rec license, you know? So, it's like and it was only like $500. So, it's, like, way less regulated and just a game based off volume because it's outside. But that's dope. I think it's awesome that, some native tribes are taking part in the cannabis industry, man, getting in and trying to get some paper. I'm hoping that they have some relationships set up with processors, cause dude, there's enough CBD oil out there, you know what I mean? Oh, man, look like his screen flashed like there was some sound, maybe he's back in the crib, maybe? But, shoot, what was I talking about, Mitchell? Oh, yeah, there's enough CBD oil out there, bro, like, it seemed like that's all anyone is kinda, growing it for, you know? And it's going to, like, dude, every gas station has a sign in the window that says CBD products available here, like, it's fu you know, it's. that's fine. I'm glad there's access to this cannabinoid for everyone in the country. You know, we need THC to be advertised at gas stations like that too. But I think that making other products is a better idea and also more profitable. Like I haven't seen hemp toilet paper yet, man. Like I feel like that shit would crush, bro. You know what I mean? And it seems like you could get it fresh. You'd be like, nah, this is from last year's crop. You know what I mean? And it's pretty renewable. You wouldn't have to chop down actual trees in a forest to make that product as long as it catches on and people can make it and purchase it. But also like the hempcrete bricks too. Like that shit looks pretty ill. It's like they mix the hemp with the concrete and supposed to like retain heat better and insulate better and last longer and weighs a little bit less, breaks less. You know what I mean? I'm like, that shit's cool. So hopefully those Chippewa Indians got some more than just extraction lined up for their hemp crop. That's my take on it, Mitchell. All right, so we got another story here from marijuanamoment.net, published May 29th, 2020. Says THC infused semen can be a side effect of frequent marijuana use, study finds. According to a new study by a team of Harvard medical researchers, the answer is yes, at least sometimes. In a study of 12 participants who regularly consumed marijuana by inhalation, the researchers were able to detect delta 9 THC, the main psychoactive ingredient in cannabis, in two subjects' semen samples. Wow. That's cool. So it's like, that's crazy. I mean, so maybe that has to do with it's storing in the fat cells or something like that. Because it's like, but it comes out in pee too. I'm sure it comes out in sweat. Maybe if they took a sweat sample, maybe they find some couple nanograms in there. Like, this guy's been smoking some weed because they do that hair follicle. Yeah, the hair follicle. Some companies do that test. You can't fucking. I don't think you can fake that one, right? Like they pull it off of your head when you go in there, and it's like pretty sure that the shampoos don't really wash it out. Like I'm pretty sure it's all bullshit. All those products don't work. I don't think. Whether that's wild. I wonder who proposed that research. Yeah, they must have had a cool some extra money laying around, man. Okay, the primary goal or of the proof of concept research they explained was to determine whether THC can cross the blood testes barrier. Word. So maybe their research is going to be on sterilization or something, because that's something they always said in Dare, and it's like they said, if you smoke weed, you'll be sterile and you can't have kids. That was I just remember that being a part of the propaganda, and I I'd have to say that's a lie. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like homies and myself included. It's like, nah, I'm pretty sure there was some weed in your system when that happened, or shortly before. So it's like that can't be true. You know what I mean? Um, what dope article? I was gonna I had another story. Wait. Of the two participants whose semen contained detectable levels of THC itself, samples contained 0.97 nanograms per milliliter and 0.87 nanograms per milliliter. Hmm. Yeah, I wonder do they say when like how when they smoked? Did they record that? Like did they, cuz I feel like that's relevant too. Cuz like 0.97 grams or 0.97 nanograms, like on probation that would be clean. You know what I mean? Um yeah, cuz probation is 50 to 250 nanograms is dirty. So that would, you know what I mean, if you tested like that it would be okay. All participants indicated they had used the drug between 25 and 30 days of the last month, and most said they had been regular consumers for at least 5 years. Ah, dope, dope. Oh, is Smurf back? Is that Smurf Luchiano? Bummer, man. Bummer. Okay, so is that the end of the article, Mitchell? Okay, cool. So I got a cannabis story. I went to Portland on Friday morning to go and shoot a scene for a music video for a song that I'm gonna release later this year. Shout out to my bro Cedro. He had a flower room that was in bloom. Um, all the leaves were pulled before I show. I was hoping that he was gonna leave a bunch of yellows on there so I could pull them off and make it look a little bit cooler. But I wasn't tripping. He gave me access to the room and let me set up my tripod, and we shot some B-roll to cut in with scenes on the music video for "Say You Love Me." And I was real happy about that, man, because heading over there to Portland, we got a flat tire right around the Dalles. So it's like, shit. Had to put the donut on and then ride the donut until the next day when we could get it changed at Firestone. Um, so that minor fork in the road, man. There's gonna be obstacles. Chalk it up and press on. And then I got to bring some food to my little homie in treatment. And got to bring him a burger and fries and a couple of sodas. So that was cool. Shot the video scene. Changed the tire, grabbed some nugs at 50 trees and slid back, man. So it was a excellent mission completion, and I'm proud of myself and my lady for co-piloting. Um, Happy to be back in Spokane and happy to be on the podcast this evening. Um, we got one more article here from Mitchell in production. So this article is from marijuanamoment.net, published on May 21st, 2020. Company recalls injectable CBD products following FDA warning letter. Biota Biosciences received the letter last month, with FDA directing the firm to cease sales of its line of CBD vials. Damn, what the fuck? That just doesn't sound safe to me. Like that's a question I ask of anybody who's trying to sell me something that I'm gonna put in my body. Is like, yo, what are the ingredients and where did you get them from? Like, how are these derived? Because that just doesn't. Like, how the fuck would you do that? You know what I mean? Like, you can't slam distillate into your veins, bro. I feel like that would like cause a like aneurysm. Like it would clot up in your blood or something, wouldn't it? Do some shit like that if you fucking slam distillate in your veins. Yeah, man. Like that just doesn't sound like a good idea. So they didn't get FDA approval. The FDA they just started making it and selling it, and the FDA is like, "Yo, cease and desist, you assholes." That's not. Well, that's cool. I'm not a huge fan of the FDA or the way it works or the way it's fucking, influenced, purchased and controlled, but shit, I guess they got it right on that one, Mitchell. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, cuz that for real that doesn't sound safe at all, dude. Like don't suck that out with a needle and then put that needle into your arm, dude. Like don't. That's not going to cure cancer, man. Like man, dude, I gotta look those guys up now. Maybe we could get them to come on the show. And they'll be like, nah, we tested it, man. We did cure cancer. Like, shit, really? Fuck. All right. So, what is, while the products lack directions for use, the company has claimed that they bypass liver absorption and deliver CBD directly into your bloodstream. The agency said the company was violating federal statutes both by engaging in interstate commerce of an unapproved new drug and failing to properly label the products by neglecting to include directions for use. Shit. Yeah, that's crazy. So they were just fucking selling it as a vial, like, do what you want, man. You know what I mean? Heat it up, fucking slam it cold, like, damn, that's wild, dude. Fuck, that sucks. Maybe they're gonna like, because like a negative, I could foresee a negative side effect of this being the FDA just shitting on all hemp products. You know what I mean? But I think saying injectable is definitely not. You got to have a bunch of extra layers to sell something in that way. You know what I mean? Like there's a few more pages to that application than just fucking. I'm gonna grow it in a field and then fucking hang it, dry it, and sell it. You know, like yeah, that's damn, that's wild. Okay, so in a public statement, Biota Sciences said that so far no adverse or serious adverse events have been reported in relation to these products. I'm like, dude, I want to see someone like there's got to be a YouTube video or something, right? So they're like, oh, I bought this injectable CD product from Biota on their website, slammed it in my veins and cured my diabetes. There's got to be, and whether or not he's telling the truth, I don't know, but I bet there's something out there like that. Whether their marketing or PR person had to have created some content through contract services or something. You know what I mean? Yeah, make that video and post it up on YouTube. People search it, it'll pop up. That's wild. Does it say where was that company at? Does it say? No clues? Damn. They're probably pulling hemp from everywhere, wherever they're from though. Cause it's cheap, dude. Like fucking everywhere. Like you can't really find CBD strains on the shelf in too many places anymore because it's like you can buy hemp for fucking pennies on the dollar, man. Like you can get like a pound of hemp for less than like $200 or $300, and it's like it looks just like nugs, you know, like same shit, just doesn't get you baked, man. Chill out your fucking anxiety. All right, we're 8:37. I'm gonna check my phone here, man. Maybe Smurf hollered back. Bummer, he ain't hollered back yet. All right. So what is that on time, fella? Is that like 15 minutes or so? Yeah, 15, 20, something like that. Almost 20. Shoot, man, I really wanted to interview Smurf, man. Like, bummer. You think I do like a little bit of promo for next week, Mitchell, or what? I don't want to just keep reading too many news articles. I think those ones are really interesting and relevant. And then I don't want to talk too much about the protest shit either because I didn't read too much of it yet. I was driving all day yesterday, so yeah. Um, shit. I guess yeah. So next week, ladies and gentlemen, we have Josh Zito as our guest. He's also from Portland, Oregon. Talented musician, rapper. He's also an actor. He's been in a few series. I think the Green Fiction, I think, is the one he's. I don't know if you can watch it yet. Like I have a whole bunch of cool questions to ask him too. But he's also a musician, an actor, and a publisher. And I really want to ask him questions about that because it's like, dude, do you have a publishing company? Like what is how does that hustle work? You know what I mean? And how do you get paid off it? Like those are my questions I want to ask him about that because I always hear that term and I know that I get some back end royalties from CD Baby when I distribute an album through them. But as far as I feel like I should be getting more. And it seems like that's kind of, I hope that's what he's doing with his company. You know what I mean? It's like, nah, we'll get you more loot and then we take a cut because that's fair. You know what I mean? Because it's more than you would be getting normally from whatever your distro deal is. Okay. I'm gonna take one pull off the bunk since this is Concerned Dabs podcast. Usually I'd have My guest telling a story so I can bubble in the background there. Okay. Okay. U.S. House. Okay, so this is from mjbizdaily.com, published on May 31st, 2021, 2020. Damn, that's today. U.S. House okays cannabis banking in passing $3 trillion coronavirus bill. The bill passed along partisan lines by a 208 to 199 margin and now heads to the Senate, where it faces fierce Republican resistance. Damn. So is that like another? They're trying to give out another 1,200 or something, Mitchell? Is that how much was the first one? Like similar package or something? I hope they give more of it to fucking the actual people and not the fucking corporations, man, because it's, I don't know, like, it sucks to not be able to go to work and then have to decide whether you're gonna pay rent or buy food because your job closed, you know? So, like, that shit's whack. I feel for the folks who have to do that, like, because a bunch of my jobs stopped too, man. I switched to Instacart shopping because everyone's afraid to go to the grocery store. I'm not, you know, like, I'll go grab that shit, get paid off the phone. That's legit. But some people can't do that, you know what I mean? And it's like if you have kids at home too, and your kids aren't in school, it's like fuck, that adds a whole another layer of difficulty in working. You know what I mean? It just it's not like you're gonna send your sixth grade kid to daycare or something like that. It's but you still want to have someone around to be there if something happens. You know, what if he fucking eating a grilled cheese or something and he fucking chokes? You gotta have somebody there, give him the Heimlich. You know what I mean? Um, as it says, Senate Banking Chair Michael Crapo, an Idaho Republican. Mike Crapo, I remember seeing those fucking signs back home during campaign season. Goddamn, Mitchell, goddamn. An Idaho Republican held a hearing on cannabis banking last year, but has expressed concerns about the bill in its current form. I wonder what it says. That, like, he's the guy that was shitting on letting cannabis bank, right? He was the guy against it. Yeah, fuck that guy, man. It that sucks. Is the do Republicans still have the majority in the Senate, Mitchell? Yeah. Fuck, that sucks. I feel like some of those guys got to switch sides though. If they're real Republicans from, like, you know, blue collar places where it's working class folks who, it's like, yo, we literally haven't worked for fucking 3 months, man. Like, fuck this shit. What the fuck are you guys doing? Either let us go back to work or give us some loot to fucking survive on, man. And I think this is another case for universal basic income. I feel like that's a pretty good idea. The, you know, the 1% pretty much own and control way more than they could ever consume in their fucking lifetime or 10 lifetimes. So in order to, like, that's why I dig like the riots and the protests and shit now, because it's like, yo, it's almost like eat the rich. Like, you guys can't, you got to give us something, because we've literally been starving for 2 or 3 months. So people don't really care anymore. You know, it's like if your basic needs aren't taken care of, you could give a fuck about anything. You fucking throw a brick and fucking set a fire. You know what I mean? I know it's not just those people who are doing these things out there in public. There's got to be a little bit of instigation from you know, like, I see memes online where it's like, this guy who broke the window with the umbrella is actually a cop for this department. That's cool and all, but I still feel like there's honest rage from the general public about the way things are going right now. And if they don't do something to try and remedy it, it's the rage will continue. You know what I mean? Um Okay. Crapo's announcement outlined other possible changes to. Oh, SAFE. That's the name of the bill. SAFE. Okay, so Crapo's announcement outlined other possible changes to SAFE, including preventing baking for companies that produce edibles and high potency THC vape products, better ensuring that interstate commerce of cannabis wouldn't occur, stricter procedures to ensure cannabis related funds aren't used for illicit activities. Significant concerns remain that the Safe Banking Act does not address the high level potency of marijuana, marketing targets to children, lack of research on marijuana's effects, and the need to prevent bad actors and cartels from using the banks to disguise ill-gotten cash to launder money into the financial system. Like, Jesus Christ, dude. Fuck Mike Crapo, man. Among other things, the Idaho Republican has considered a 2% THC potency cap on cannabis products for businesses to be eligible for financial services, substantially below current levels of 12% or more typically seen on retail shelves in state legal markets. Crapo's proposed potency cap, for example, was unworkable and unrealistic, the lobbyist said. Dude, fuck what the lobbyist said. Like, it's serious. Like, hey, you're just gonna put water in there until it's 2%. You know what I mean? Like, how are you gonna grow some weed and breed it for like you don't have control over these things necessarily, dude. Even if you have clones of the same shit that tested like this last time, you could do another run and it could fucking sway one where that is a very small window to fucking hit to sell your shit on the shelf. Like, that's bullshit and that's fucking dumb. Like, there's no dude, what an asshole. And he's writing this shit into the back end of that safe fucking coronavirus package. Yeah, fuck that guy. I vote that's whack, dude. Cause that makes me not want it to pass, Mitch. I want it to pass so people could get some fucking loot and eat some. But I don't want it to pass if this shit's fucking in there. You know what I mean? Like, that's Lady Furnish was talking about that shit, that senator in her district or whatever who put a bunch of fucked up weed shit in the back end of whatever bill they passed. So I think it's very underhanded, slick and slimy, Mike Crapo. I don't think that you should be doing those things because uh yeah, it's not a fucking money. It's people who are doing legit business want to bank. You know what I mean? It's like fuck dealing with cash all the time in that level when you're moving that kind of volume just isn't it's it costs more money than it's worth. Like the government could make more money if people spent less time and energy on handling that aspect of their business. You know what I mean? And everything would be a lot easier tracked. Everything would be a lot easier. Like it would be taxed easier. Like just doesn't make sense at all, man. And that fuck Idaho, bro. Like that's how like the ruling class is out there as far as their belief system, dude. Like I hope that those people's kids can't feel the same way, dude. Like those people's kids get into politics, they gotta at least they've grown up around the information from their friends presenting it to them. At least they can't, they gotta think sensibly at least, man. Because that's how I look at it too. Is it's just old folks who are still ruling in the government out there. You know what I mean? If it was some younger folks, I think that they would make better decisions that and not just have it out. Like, you know what I mean? It's like they got it out for weed in that state. Like, no, not here, not anywhere. We gotta fucking if they're gonna do that, we gotta make it like this. Otherwise, it's not safe. And it's like, dude, it is safe. Like all of the research says it's safe. There's no research that says otherwise. Like they've been trying to prove impairment for DUIs for like the past 10 years and they can't do it. All of their research is saying that people actually drive safer and more cautiously and at a slightly slower speed than they normally would on the freeway or on the anywhere. And so it's like they are actually less likely to have an accident when they're smoking cannabis according to the research. And they're not going to present that in any articles like this in a propagandish type way, but that's what they're finding, man. So it just it bothers me that Mike Crapo isn't out there looking for these studies, and he's just trying to hide shit on the back end of a coronavirus stimulus package. That's fuck that guy. Fuck Mike Crapo. And it's for hemp only. But still, dude, that's unrealistic. You can't. It's unrealistic. You know, it's like you can't do that, dude. Like how? If you're gonna impose this restriction, explain the solution for all of the business owners whom you would like to fucking take a fucking tax fucking pie from. You know what I mean? Yeah, but still, dude, it's like that's not the. There's medical cannabis and rec cannabis in other states. It's like you as a guy from Idaho, I think that's rather bold to sit there and try and tell people from other states what they fucking can and can't do inside their own fucking borders. You know what I mean? Like, fuck that, dude. I'm sure he has less friends of that because of this, but maybe he has more briefcases at lunch, Mitchell. You know what I mean? Maybe those guys who sell the pharmaceutical pills paid for his family's vacation last fucking Christmas and gave him a nice healthy briefcase at lunch at the first of the month the past 6 months, you know. So maybe that's why he's doing this. Because honestly, I'm like what's your motivation, guy? Any sensible person would be like, you're incorrect. This is not the correct view on this issue. Why are you voting this way? It's because I'm getting paid, man. You know what I mean? Like why the fuck else? I don't really see any other motivation. Everybody's auntie and grandma in a rec state understands this now too. It's like, dude, if you made it legal everywhere, all those old people would see. It's like, nah, go to the store, grab some, check it out. It's not gonna kill you. You know what I mean? You'll be fine. Chill at the house, smoke some, drink some, eat some, take a nap, watch a movie. Okay. Mitchell's posting one more article. I'm gonna hit this spawn one more time here, Mitch. Oh shit, I got some kind of Mountain Dew spritzer on my table right here. Shout out to my old lady. Ooh, that is legit. Oh, they're smooth. Smurf. Oh shit. Damn, dude. Yeah, I don't want to share that on the air, ladies and gentlemen. Uh Shit. I'm gonna text Smurf back. Damn. Fucking bummer, bro. Can we do the 14th? Oh, she's okay. Yeah, shit. I'll tell you guys when we end the broadcast. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Guest had a family emergency. Um, so we got one more article. You want to do this one, Mitchell, and then wrap it up and do the outro dance, and then also Mitchell, like it has, like let it go for like 10 seconds at least after I finish, because it cuts you guys off like right when I say your guys' company name, man. And I really, if you guys don't want me to say your company name, then that's cool. But I want to say it, you know, like I want to pump you guys up. So one more news article, ladies and gentlemen, and then we're gonna wrap this episode. Get Smurf Luchiano on next, not next week, but the week after, hopefully. And then if he's busy, and hopefully we can get him after that. So this article right here is from mjbizdaily.com, published May 14th, 2020. COVID-19 delays mandatory pesticide testing for Washington State recreational cannabis. Okay. That I live in Washington State, so that kind of bums me out, man. Uh Fuck. Some cannabis companies have taken matters into their own hands, however, and are testing their products, a development that is rare elsewhere in the marijuana industry. Yeah, dude, that's dope. And shout out to Jackson, because like sometimes folks would bring in stuff that had a test, and Human Collective would do this too. Sometimes folks would bring in this farm called Kush Kush. It's KHUSH, and I think they're out of Bellingham, Washington. But it's no till indoor, bro. And they have some real exotic strains, and I'm a super big fan of their work. It keeps down the cost. You know what I mean? And it's just nice, man. And I hit those guys up one time. I'd love to get them on the show. If you're listening, Kush Kush, probably not, but if you are, we want to interview you on Concerned Dads podcast. Um, but it's dope that people are policing themselves too, because it's important to know that the stuff that you're selling does not have toxins in it. And I think that's something that's really unique to the cannabis industry too, because nobody is like, everything else you buy at the grocery store has fucking poison in it and really high levels, and they don't fucking check for it because they're not required to. You know what I mean? Like everything, like there's glyphosate, anything that has wheat or any sort of grain in it has fucking got glyphosate up the ass. That's that's what it is, and weed is one of the safest things you can buy in a state in the Northwest because it's been through rigorous testing before it got on the shelf. I guess not in Washington lately because of the COVID. Dude, I wish we had a list, Mitchell. I wish we had a list of the farms that were doing it. Maybe we can look that up and post it in the description or something, or hit those, find out a list and hit those farms up and see if they want to come on the show. We got more. Like other mature adult use marijuana markets, including Colorado and Oregon, in the past couple of years, Washington state's cannabis economy became oversupplied and wholesale prices bottomed out, though the market is recovering somewhat. Therefore, growers in the state aren't eager to see mandated pesticide testing, not because they don't want to test for contaminants, but because their margins are already very, very narrow. Yeah, I can understand that. Um, and that's Yeah, nobody wants to pay for it. That's if you go rec, it costs a lot more. Like a medical compliance test to be on the medical shelf was like $100, 150 if you wanted like the terpene profile analysis and all that extra shit. But $100, so you grab a pound or 2 pounds of the same strain. It's like separate bags, test it, and that's good enough. But after rec, bro, the batch was more. It's like fucking 30 grams instead of 3. So like that's a huge sample to give, but the lot on the rack is like it's for like 10 pounds, I think, or 15 pounds. So that's a pretty big. Yeah, you can have a huge batch for that one test. So I don't understand that. Okay, well, we got more, Mitchell. Ah, yeah, we got more. Under one proposal that's been floated, pesticide tests would cost $70, and all cannabis would need to be tested 4 grams at a time for 5 pound lots. That's on top of the $120 per test. No, like that's the main thing I don't like about the regulation, because even if it wasn't required, Mitchell, like it's saying, certain companies still will. The clean green certified, certification, that there's all kinds of different organic certifications you can get where they come and inspect your farm and make sure there's no nutrients and no pesticides. And it's I think that companies will always brand themselves as that and try to sell themselves as that, and I think that's dope. But there's a lot of people who won't, you know what I mean, who are just like, if I don't have to, I'm not going to, you know what I mean? So um I think that what they're proposing is fair. And I also think that the lab testing guys, shout out to Paul Swift, because I fucking love that dude. We had him on the show a few times. Hopefully we can have him back. But I feel like the people that he works for, like that industry, lobbied a lot in order to require that people had to pay them in order to be on the shelf. And sometimes I feel like that test is a little bit inflated. It's like, if you're doing this many in a day, the volume just kind of dictates that, fuck, dude, you could charge a few bucks less and still not lose any work or any pieces of the pie. It's like, I feel like the greed is a little bit there for the guys who own those labs. But Who am I to say, man? Maybe we can ask Paul that question next time he comes on the show, you know? I'm sure he'd be like, well, actually, you know, I'm like, cool, I stand corrected, friend, you know? So what's that? That's 9 p.m.? We're at 9? 9:02? All right. Well, shoot, you want to wrap up then, ladies and gentlemen? All right, let's do my outro dance. This was the 59th episode of Concerned Dabs podcast. I was your host, Katie M. Kane. We missed our our guest Smurf Luchiano tonight. He had a family emergency, and hopefully we can reschedule for the 14th or the 21st. I will hit him up after the show. Hopefully everything is okay with him and his fam. Um, really excited to interview him, and I hope I get to do it again in the future. Sound check went good. We had a good little pre-funk convo. So I hope everything's good, Smurf. If you're listening, I'll holler at you after the show. I also got to give a shout out. Oh, wait. Also, Josh Zito next week, ladies and gentlemen, episode 60. So please tune in for that. It's going to be a good one. Also, I got to give a shout out to my guys in production, Mitchell Wilson and Jesse Curry. This has been a Main Node and Joseph Street Enterprise production.